Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of making your own skins for Rust. Hope part 1 was kind of informative. I didn't touch up on the second method, the easier method of doing it, unwrapping it. If you didn't see the first tutorial, I would recommend you go back because I'm going to be moving through those sections of it in this tutorial, kind of assuming that you already know it. So if you haven't seen it, go ahead, go back, take a look at it, and then you can just go from there. Otherwise, I'm going to assume that you already saw it, and we can just go from here. You should already have all the other programs downloaded. Again, the whole point of my tutorial series on this is that you don't need to download the gigabytes and gigabytes of information that is the Unity engine in order to go ahead and make skins. So once again, I asked you guys in the first tutorial, hey, what do you guys want to do? And somebody had just posted face mask. I was waiting a while to see what you guys were actually going to be doing. Not too many people responded in the comments, which is fine. I mean, it is what it is. This is up here for whenever somebody happens to come by it. So in order for that to work, I just want to touch up on, where is it? The workshop. You can go ahead, you can make your own items. We're going to have to go ahead, and this is going to be a new item. Create new item. What the heck? Oh, alright. And when you're in here, you can look around by pressing the left mouse button, right mouse button, same thing, I think. Yep, okay. So when you're holding the left and right mouse button, then you just use the regular walking. And you can press up to go up like that, or if you want, you can keep it like a 3D camera and press E and Q to raise and lower the camera. This allows you to go ahead and check out, you know, what you've done for your skins so far when you load them in. So we're gonna have to go ahead. We're gonna have to get the type. This, I believe, is, what did they want? I think it was a face mask is what they were asking for. Metal face mask. Metal face mask. Okay. I believe that's what they had requested. So as you can see here, here's the default. We're going to touch up on the different types of texture types and what they're used for. These are universal in not just modding, but if you're going to get into game creation as well. They put in that extra little bit of detail without really bogging down your computer, and it's important that you understand why you need to use those image maps, where to put them, and how to basically utilize them. You know, you got to keep the memory usage down, because if you're using up so much memory just for one object, you're not going to be able to put up the rest here. We'll probably change this around a little bit. We'll give this, well, I don't know if we'll keep it the same color. I don't know. Let's have fun. We'll figure it out. So first things first, we got to download this. I've already downloaded it, but if you go into edit, you got to save all of these. All right. So diffuse, you're going to hit it. You're going to choose which directory you want to put it in. Again, go into the first tutorial. I talk about hierarchies and everything like that. I already have it in my C texture. I've already downloaded every single one that I need. So what you would do here is you just go down to the bottom and you type in diffuse, or you could do diff. Doesn't matter. Diff, tutorial, that type of deal, and then just hit save, and it'll save it as a PNG file. PNG files are pretty heavy, but they're super detailed. Next, what you're gonna do is you're going to come here and you're going to download where it says main. This is the main object, all right, as an OBJ file for advanced skinners. Yes, you are an advanced skinner. So you do that, and basically you just, I don't know, type in metal face mask metal, doesn't matter. We'll do tutorial, save. All right, And now that we have that all downloaded, we can basically exit right out of this. Once we're out of that and we have all our skins and everything downloaded, we can go ahead and we can click and open Blender. You do not need these, but I mean, I'm going to delete the camera. We really don't need it. You can use it, but again, hotkeys for moving around in Blender were talked about in the first tutorial, so you're going to have to go back. But we're going to delete our cube, click on it, press X, and now we got to import our model. So file, OBJ, because it's an OBJ file. It was underneath C, textures, tutorial, metal, tutorial, leather. So there's two parts, there's two objects to this. The first one that I typed in was face mask, as you saw, so I'm gonna go with the ones that I showed you already. So tutorial, metal, and that brings that in. It's a little bit off, it's not on center, it's not on point. It doesn't matter, again, because we're not going to be using it. So now that that's there, we're going to click away from it, and we're going to import OBJ, and we're going to bring in leather. Now that we have both of them, you're going to drag your cursor over it, or you can hit A, but that will select everything including the light. So hit A twice. It's just better if you just select that. And then we got to basically rotate it up this way, which this is your X-axis, this is your Y-axis, your Z goes up and down, as you can see right here. So R to rotate along the X-axis, we're going to bring that up. G for grabbing it, Z, and you're going to bring that down, and then we're going to rotate along the Z-axis so that it's facing us. I mean, you can always move your camera over there too, it really doesn't matter. Alright, so this is your object. If you hit Z, you can hit the wireframe. This is kind of a high poly mesh, but at the same time, it has all the information built into it that we need. It's already been unwrapped in another program, and all that information is actually saved in the .obj file. So what we need here is to go ahead and we need to put a texture to it, because if you press Z and go into material preview, it's just complete garbage. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and we'll click on this. This has a material, where are we? Materials, default OBJ, default OBJ1. We don't really need default OBJ1. They're both going to be sharing the same thing, I believe. So you're going to go down to your base color, and you're going to click image texture, and you're going to open C, textures, and our diffuse, and that brings out the diffuse texture. Now I want you to look at something here. When you go into UV editing, depending on what you click on, here, hit tab to get out of edit mode, because it'll automatically jump into edit mode for UV editing. If you hit tab again, it'll have all objects selected. If you hit A, same thing. This will only, see how it only did half the face mask? Again, I touched up on this on the other part. You got to go ahead, highlight the whole thing, or you can just hit A, selects everything. Same thing back here. Now, they have one texture or one picture file, and then they have it split up, and they have two separate objects to the face mask object. What that means is both these are sharing one object file. So you hit tab, and the reason why this is blank and this one isn't is because this one right here was assigned, here's your material, default.obj, material preview. So this one actually shares the same image file. So what you would do, you could go ahead and then open it up again, or you can go right here and choose default.obj. So now when we click that and hit tab, boom, there's that one, there's that one. So I know it doesn't look like how it did. Let's get everything all up and running so we can kind of fiddle around with the actual textures themselves. What we're gonna do is we're going to get default.obj to have all that extra information. We're gonna mix all those maps together. So let's jump into our shading menu, because we got to know what we're working with here. And we'll zoom into this. And I believe this is underneath material preview. Okay. I mean, you could do rendered as well. Doesn't really matter. Material I usually use. And looks like we have the leather back here, but it doesn't, we can't see the grooves. That's where our bump mapping or normal mapping comes in. It kind of really defines the lines and everything. Specular is how shiny is it. OC, occult, collision, I don't know, I can't say it. That has to do with your roughness, and then of course you have subsurface. That's totally different. They don't work with that. Metallic, that's what that would go under. So let's go ahead, let's get this out of here. You're gonna click on this. This is our diffuse. You're now gonna take this, click it twice, 3 times, make sure that just this is selected. You can change the border and the settings whenever things are selected so that they stand out more, purple, green. That way, I mean, white really isn't that easy to see. White and black they're very easy defined lines to see, but on a gray background, especially when you're dealing with all these colors, it's just tough to really tell. If I were to do that, then these two turn orange and the last one that you select turns white, it's still tough to see. So by doing that, you're going to press Shift and D to duplicate it. And we're going to duplicate another one, Shift and D, and we're going to bring it down here. So let's add some defining lines to this. This one we're going to open, and this is going to be our normal. You got to go to your C textures or wherever you put it. Here's your normal. And it didn't do anything because you haven't plugged it into the output yet. So color, normal. There. Changed a little bit. It's a little bit shiny. Not bad. But it's not recognizing it as a pure normal map yet. So you're going to press Shift and A, and you're going to add a new vector, normal map. Plug that in, and now it's darkened it up. It's got a little bit of its defining edges, but that's where our AO comes in. So here we're going to open specular, and we're just going to put the specular into the specular. Now it's starting to come along a little bit easier, or a little bit better, a little bit more defined. Z, rendering. See if we can get that light down there. G, Z. Light, there we go. Turn all this on. Alright, so we're going to do G along the x-axis and bring that over a little bit more. There, now we can see it a little bit better. Let's jump back into material preview. Alright, click on this. I'm just going to clean this up a little bit so I know how I can work with this. I like if you have this and then, you know, you're going to have lines going all over the place. A nice little blender hint is if you press Shift and then right mouse button, you can actually, and then hit G on that point, you can clean it up a little bit. So that then you can just move things nice and simple. We'll put that one there, Shift, G. Actually, that'll go right there. And then same thing, G, right into the specular. Alright, so we have 3 of the 4 maps. Let's hit Shift and A, and we're gonna, nope, Shift and D. Or you can hit Shift and A and then you can put texture, image texture. It doesn't matter, it's still the same difference. They both work the same way. So this, what did we miss? We have specular, OCC, there we go. And the OCC is going to go into our metallic. How metal it is. How metal are you? Alright. So metallic, and boom. That definitely was not it. No, that was it. Did I get these two mixed up? No, specular goes in specular. Metallic goes in metallic. Something ain't right. Oh, bear with me. Roughness. There we go. That looks a little bit better. Z, rendered. There we go. So that's your roughness, is your OCC. I don't even know what OCC means. Shift, okay. G, come back down here. Same thing. G. We'll do another one. G. Click on that. Alright. Just for ha-has. That actually looks... Nope. That looks better. So I think that's your specular tint is OCC. I don't know, whichever, either way it gets the point across. But you get the basic idea. So now, I mean, if we go ahead and we take off the normal map, just so you can see what you're working with here. All the definition, all the defining qualities of the mask. Here, let's take this off, specular tint. You pull these all except for the diffuse, which is your main texture object. They don't really come into light. It's when you finally bring all the maps together. Put this here. Put that there. That all this really starts to come out of the woodwork. Alright, specular tint. That your face mask really comes into order. Alright. Again, shift and right mouse button to go ahead. If you want to cut it out, control and right mouse button cuts it out. And I think you can cut right this out too. Yeah. But really no reason to. And it's which way you drag it. There we go. Alright. Cool. Now that we have this and we have our diffuse plugged in, now that's all attached to this one material. This is only good if you're going to go ahead and use it for a Blender project. But the reason why we're doing it is for the sole purpose that we can see what it's going to look like, or hopefully look like, when we put it from the textures and remove them, paste them, whatever, and put them into our Unity batch file. Well, not Unity batch file, it's the Rust file when we go ahead and we upload it. Because again, go into layout, Z wireframe. all this underneath UV editing, and this, you don't need to unwrap it. If you unwrap this, it's going to screw the whole thing up, and you're going to have to put all the points back as they were. This is what the program's going to be looking for. So we just got to edit right here and move along with that. All right. Okay, guys, now that we went ahead and we have everything all ready to go, and we have it all set up so that we can see how it's going to look, hopefully, inside the Rust game, or, well, technically the Unity engine. And it's all set up. We got to go ahead and we need to move this and get it ready for editing. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on that. You can do, doesn't really matter, you can go into UV editing, shading. No, it doesn't really work. Let's go into texture paint. I mean, you can paint on here if you want to. I don't recommend it because there's a couple extra steps you got to take. It's ultimately it's less control. I'm not even gonna go into that. Material preview, there we go. But what we're gonna do, actually, let's just go into UV editing. All right, and with the UV editing, if you hit, remember, tab selects between the two objects. First thing that we're gonna do is we're going to UV edit this. Hit tab A to select all, and it's going to bring the outline. And what we're going to do is we're going to go into UV, export UV layout. I'm going to put this into desktop, new folder, tutorial metal, export UV layout, and then tab, and then select the leather part, tab, that's now down here. Export that UV layout by clicking on UV, export UV layout, and that is underneath desktop, new folder, leather, and that's it. We're done with that for right now. Now we got to go ahead and we got to make our template. So if you boot up GIMP, which we're gonna do now, we can go from there. File, open. I have it underneath here. Tutorial, metal, and then leather. So we're in the metal right now. We want to get these lines out of here because this is what we're going to actually want to paint on. So using the magic wand, we're just going to click there. Holding shift, we're going to click the eye sockets. Everything except for the lines itself. And then we're going to fill that in. You can choose black or white. I like to choose the white because these have the black lines already, so when you go ahead and refill it in, it's going to slice through it. We don't want that. So you can either hit that or you can press and hold shift and it'll fill in all that's selected. Good. With that done, we're going to file, open, and we're going to do another tutorial metal. So now that we're in this one, we have this and this. While we're in here, we're going to select everything right here and we're going to delete it. Come back here, press with everything selected. You want to make sure that you have the eye sockets too. Oh, Control Z. You're going to press Control C, come over here, Control V. Good. Now that we got that, we can go ahead and we can move on to the next one. And the whole point is we got to make this one image. So file, open, tutorial leather, and file, open, tutorial leather. And I'll show you why we're going to do that in a second. Same thing here. Select this, fill it right here, select everything and delete, come back, Control C, Control V. Let's go over to this one. Actually, you know what, we'll just delete this. Select everything, delete, here, select everything, delete. And what we're going to do is we're going to fill this up now with just black or red or whatever you want for right now. We're just using it as a filler. Oh, select the interior, fill it. Same thing with here. Oh, okay. Control C, Control V, and fill it. All right. Now that we have those, we can get rid of this, discard changes. So we have these two right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the outside and the interior, delete. This one, delete. And from there, select the whole image, Control C, Control V. Here, select the whole image, Control C, come back, Control V. Discard, discard. And now what we're going to do is we're going to select all the eye sockets. We're going to flip this over to white. Doesn't matter what you're going to do. I mean, either way, it's going to be the same. Pressing Shift, fill that in. And now with all that filled in, you're going to select the masks and the pieces and delete. That's the easier way of doing it instead of doing it like I did in the last tutorial. I said there was two ways. That's the other way of doing it. There's less control over it, just for the sole purpose that now you don't have, you know, strap 1, strap 2. I believe this is the front, this is the inside, and that's the top of the head. So now we have our template. And we're going to file, we're going to export this as, and we will call this mask temp. What? Templater. Okay, mask template. Export. You don't really have to mess with anything there. Good. Now that we have that, we can go ahead and we can put other layers down. And let's work on the front of the mask. So I'm going to take some pictures because, again, you don't really want to, you don't want to use something that has copyrights on it. It'll get pulled from the Steam store and you might actually end up with a lawsuit on your hands for using property that's not yours. That's why it's best to create everything on your own. I was thinking, like, right here, maybe we can have like a metal nose, or I don't know what we should do for, how can we make this look cool? Yeah, I don't even know what I want to do. Let's, I mean, you could do the digi camo with this too. Actually, we can make this digi camo. Maybe green. We can use, you can look up free to use textures, I guess, and then make your own stuff. But let's see here, how can we do this? Well, anyways, what we're doing right here is just this mask to begin with, and anything behind this where the checkers is, where we underlay that, that's where we're gonna have it. So let's select this, 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 this. We know we're at least working on the front of the mask to begin with. We're gonna fill this with black. Make sure it's not the white, because then it'll blend in and you're gonna lose it. Actually, here, let me show you what I mean. Boom, gone. Not good. So if you hit Control Z, it'll go back. So we want this to be black, or you could have a black background, white. Doesn't matter right now. Ultimately, all this is doing is it's just telling us, oh, and that's why we need to select it. Ultimately, what this is doing is this is telling us, okay, this is what we're going to be working here with. So we'll click File, Export As, same thing, mask template, export, yes, replace, export. All right, cool. Now that we got that, I'm going to take a quick break. Yes, I know it's been forever since I did a tutorial on this. I have other tutorials on the way. I have other great stuff coming, but let me figure out what I can do here. I'm like looking around my room, see if I can figure out what I want to do. Okay, guys. So I took a couple pictures. I figured they'd be alright for the tutorial. Just for right now, figuring out what the heck we're gonna do. So I came up with what the heck do we got here? It's underneath new folder, desktop. Alright, so these are the ones that I basically got. I took a picture of the ottoman in my room. Excuse the mess. My guitar case. Just different things. That tree hit my house in that last storm. Let me see here. Huh. Oh, and the air purifier in my room because I'm a dirty smoker. Let's see here. Alright, so with that, what we're going to do is we're going to add a new layer, and let's see how these things kind of work on here. We'll do face. Alright, so now that the face is there, face mask, well, let's see here. We'll click on that. Okay, cancel. And we're going to close this out. There we go. And then we're going to open up Paint, because I like using Paint. File, open, old wall. Let's see what the guitar, I don't really think I can do much with that. Let's go right here. Oh, jeez. Alright, so file, here we're going to hit Control A and then Control C. And then we're going to jump back into here and hit Control V. And then I can move around. That's good. So we now have face. Let's put this on. And we'll move this above. I don't like that. So let's go back here. Shut that down. And we will go ahead, Control V, and let's scale this down. Control Z. Here. Shift and S. There we go. And then we'll move this. Try to get like a darker edge. I know it's coming up there. That was a little too much. That should be good. Right about there. And good. Selected. So we'll bring this up to the top, turn this on. I'm sorry, we'll flip those around. It's not as bad. That kind of looks okay, I guess. Back of the mask I'm not too worried about. Maybe use this for the corduroy. So now that we got that, we're going to merge these two layers together. So right click, I don't know if I should do that yet. Yeah, why not? Merge down. So now that we have that all merged down, let's go ahead and we will straps. I don't know if I should. We should use the corduroy for this. All right, so we're gonna click on this. We're gonna delete that. Add a new layer. Jump back into Paint. File. Open. We'll use Ottoman. Let's cut a section out of here. See how that works. Control C. Control V. And we're gonna Shift and R to rotate it. Jump back into that. All right, see what that looks like. Flip that back up here. Oop. Shut that off. And Control V. Shift and R, rotate. And we are going to grab that. And we're going to put it right about here. There, that looks good. Throw the rectangle on. Turn this back on. Alright, well that's something, I guess. You know what? File, export as, and we'll export this as, instead of mass template, and this is under, what is this saved under? Where's my hierarchy? DCIM, get one, two, roof. We'll just call this test mask. Export. Export. Let's jump into here. And for this, let's make a new material. So we'll go to this one, base color, image texture. We're gonna open it, and we'll do face test mask. That was underneath, I believe, the desktop, new folder, test mask. Alright, I guess that's okay. And then we'll do the same thing here, see how this came out. We'll just change the material. Now, keep in mind, this is material preview. The materials are not the same. So what we're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to reconnect. See, when you go back here, see how this is all shiny and it's back to the way that it was? That's because underneath our shading, all our materials that we created are right there. When we go into this, we got to either A, recreate everything, or B, you know, do everything else. So what we're gonna do here is we can actually just delete this, and instead of that, we can go back up into default, hit Control or A for all, Control C, jump back into default, and Control V. And then all we gotta do is, instead of diffuse, we just open desktop, new folder, test mask. Now you notice how some of the curves from the old mask are there? From the specular. Let's throw this into roughness. There, that shows it a little bit better. That's from the metal. From where the metal is. The back is all black because, again, it really doesn't matter. Oh yeah, it looks like right there was a pin. There's some pins there. But let's do the same thing here. Let's throw that into that. You get the idea. So we got to go ahead and we got to make a whole new material type for that. That actually doesn't look too bad. Let's put a grate on the mouth right here. So we'll make a new layer. Alright, yeah, let's do that. So let's grab that grate. Oh yeah, merge these together because I guess we'll keep that. Merge down. And make a new face, create new layer. Yes. Jump back into paintbrush. File. Open. Oh, you know what? Let's get these out of the way. Nope, 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 nope. There we go. Control C. Tab in here. Let's get these out of the way. Oh, go back here. There we go. Delete. Delete. We'll go up to the new layer here. Make sure that it's selected. Hit Control V. Bring that right there. We'll make a rug mask. It's going to be pretty funny. Bring that on. Make sure that's above so that those fold over it. There we go. And then merge down. Alright, cool. Now that we got that, let's make a couple new layers. Or actually, file, export as. And this was underneath desktop, new folder, test mask, replace, export, and then file, open. We'll do test mask. Alright, so now we got these two. Back to what we were doing. Alright, so for this one, we're going to hide this completely. We're going to jump back into here, file, open. Let's just select right about here. That actually doesn't look too bad. Yeah, works for me. Control C, jump over here, Control V. Oh, click on that. Select that. Okay, there. Alright, so with that selected, we're going to go ahead and we are going to scissor cut. Just around a few spots here. We'll go over here. Come on up. Oh. Hold shift, click on that, drag that over here. that out of the way. Not bad. And there we go. Alright, cool. Now that we have that, Control C. Delete that. Control V. And now we can move this wherever we want to. Shift and S to scale it. See how the two look actually. So there we go, that looks good. Alright, so Control C, jump back into this, Control V, Shift and S to scale. Scale. I don't know how that's gonna look though. I don't know if I like that. You know what? Here, get the rectangle off there. Let's zoom in. Delete. 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 All right. Now let's take this. There we go. Control C. Jump over here. Control V. Yeah, that looks like it's a little bit better. Control V. Shift and S to scale that down. All right. File, save. Ooh, test mask, XCF, sure. File, export as. Export place. Export. Let's see how this looks right now. Z, wireframe, Z, metal preview. Layout. Right, we gotta switch the materials back. That's the original. That's what we're on. But shading, we have to reload this. And instead of shutting it down and then test mask. There we go. Starting it up again. Oh my goodness. It's pretty interesting. Could probably put some black around that. You get the basic idea. So now that we got a mask like that and the leather, let's go ahead and for ha-has, this is test mask. Man, that's terrible. So I'm going to show you what I use real quick. Let's throw some other materials on here. I use a program called Materialize that actually also uses the Unity engine. So all these are pretty much going to be working hand in hand together. And what that does is it goes ahead and it creates normal, specular, bump maps, all that fun stuff, your AOs, and you can go from there. You can adjust different things, and then we can edit it further. Part 3 will be how to edit normal maps. I'm just going to show you how to quickly create one with this because this tutorial is kind of cutting into the hour mark, and that's just not any fun. So what we're gonna do, and it's a PNG file. First off, we want to make sure, because that's what our saving options are gonna be. We're gonna open our diffuse, and it was underneath desktop, underneath not prawn, but there we go. And that's mask template, test mask. There we go. So this is our template. This is how it looks so far. And we got to create a height map in order to create our normal map. So create height, and we can mess with it. These are lower, that's a little bit higher. Let's see what this looks like. You can mess with the equalizers, final contrast, things like that. Dark, white, that's going to be a little bit lighter. Just mess around with it. Now keep in mind, white is high, black is low. So it's like if you were looking at a mountain like with shading and how the sun hits things. We'll do that. Or you can just hit default. You can do cracks, funky. Ooh, I like that, but let's flip it around so that the black is the white and the white is the black. Because I want the gray to be a little bit higher than what it's showing. Let me see here. Cracks, default, funky, displace, details. There we go. That's not bad. See how that looks actually. And let's kind of blur this out a little bit. There we go. That's what I want. Because if we do it that way, this is going to be indented. And if we do it this way, it's going to be extruded. Same thing with these. Another way of doing it is, again, well, let's just see how this looks. So now that we did that, we're going to set his height map. Show full material. That is not smooth at all. It's alright though, we can smooth it out. We can kind of blur it a little bit after we're done. So now that we have the height map like that, let's Alt-Tab. We'll jump into this file. Oh, we gotta save it. So S is for save. We're already in save height map. You gotta drag this down a little bit. File name, test mask. Here, where's test mask? Test mask underscore norm. No, it's not a normal, it's a height. Haha, select. Alright. So file, open, test mask, height. Oh, cancel. File, import. Open. Underneath, desktop, new folder. Test mask height. Alright, so now that we got our height map in there, I'm going to blur it a little bit. Tools, filters, blur, Gaussian blur. Oof, a little too much. There we go. Okay, let's try that. And then filters, blur, miniature curve blur. Let's the iterations up. Actually, that's probably the one that we should have used in the first place. So let's exit out of this. Discard changes. File, open. Test mask height. There's different, I haven't really used blur options in a while, so bear with me here. Alright. Median curvature blur. There we go. That's exactly what I wanted. Alright. Okay. There we go. So now that that's saved and we have the blur like that, we're going to file, export as test mask height. We're going to save over it, export it, and now we're going to jump back into here and we're going to open up what we just saved. There we go. Now let's see the full material. There. That's not nearly as bad. Like, at all. Now that we have that, let's go ahead and we're just going to create a normal map off of that map. We'll make it a smooth normal. Set as normal. Mids, actually, set as normal. There, we'll go like that. Show full material. And now it's really coming along. We can mess with this down here a little bit more too, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. This is the inside of the mask. Then we got this down here. All right, cool. So we're going to save this as test mask. Instead of height, we'll do normal. Save. And now with those saved, let's just jump back into here. This is test mask. Where's our normal? Okay, open. Underneath desktop. New folder, test mask, normal. All right, we can bring up the strength a little bit so that you can kind of see it. Let's throw our specular in there. See, the specular we're going to have to edit too, but you get the basic idea. Whereas if we were to take off this normal map now, see the difference? We're really starting to make this come along. All right. Our OCC isn't doing too well. Can we add a height map to this? What would it look like with a height map? I mean, I suppose we can make that part of the strength with the normal map. But I don't think you can do normals in Rust, or height maps in Rust. So we got to stick with the normals, and we got to edit the normal map to the point where it's going to look the way that we want it to look. Yeah, okay. So we got that. That's our normal. Let's jump back into materialize. Let's make a metallic map. So we're going to create one. Actually, this metallic map isn't going to look too good. Or pick color. Illumination, saturate. We're going to bring the hue down and the saturation up. I'm going to blur it a lot. And I want the overlay size to come up so it brings the color down. There we go. Because I want to try to make this as metallic as possible. Set as metallic. Alright. Show full material preview. And with that, save test mask. Instead of height, we're going to save it as specular. Select, jump back into here, file, open, test mask, specular. Oh, file, open, test mask, specular. Alright. And let's just click this. Control C. We're going to click everything but that, actually. Let's just delete this stuff all right here for our specular map. For right now. Alright. It's not going to show up on any of this. Well, let's get that out of there just in case. Alright. So file, export as test map specular, export. Replace. Export. Alright. Jump back into materialize. Open. There we go. Show full material. There. That way only this is shiny. The rest is... Oh, well, no kidding. Doi. I gotta fill it up with black. Because it's also acting like a height map. There we go. Alright, cool. So file, save. Yeah, that works. File, export. Export as test mass specular. Export, replace. Alright, try that again. Open. Okay. Show full material. There we go. That way this is the only thing that's really super shiny. So let's see how that looks inside Blender. Where is the specular? Open. Desktop, new folder, test mask, specular. There we go. See, now it's really starting to come along where you can see the ridges and everything like that. This actually doesn't look too bad. But you guys get the basic idea. So with all these are now saved. We know what they look like. Let's boot up Rust. Alright, workshop, create new. We're going to go into face mask. Yeep. Oh well. Let's see here. Metal face mask. Alright, so that's theirs, which looks really good. Again, the last one we'll get into actually editing and we'll get into fine-tuning everything. But this is just so you guys get the basic idea as to how to do this. I mean, you're going to work days, if not hours, on something, constantly tweaking it or thinking you like it, and that's why they have change notes and updates. So edit, diffuse, boom, let's get rid of all this. The normal, we are going to close that out. We're going to click on this, see, desktop. See if I can downloads. Where is it? What the heck? See, users Derek. And this is why you want to know where everything is constantly. Downloads, pictures, project Munson. See, users. Derek. Where's my desktop? Oh, it's probably underneath OneDrive desktop. God damn, new folder. Alright. So I think this is the diffuse. So test mask. Open. Alright, there's that. Looks like he has a pumpkin on his head. So that's the original. And then we're going to open Nope. Let's click on this and normal, open. Not bad. We'll work on this a little bit more. See how the back came out. Not bad. Again, we'll have to work on a couple different things. We'll have to put like a... Oh, you know what I should do is when I did the guitar, the round part on the guitar, specular or gloss. Let's do the OC. Specular. And same thing for this one. The gloss. One folder. Test mask. Specular. Open. So not bad. If you want this to glow, we could actually use, what did I use it? Specular. We'll get into... That's because it's right there, but we can... Yeah, let's get that out of there. Oh my goodness. Get rid of all that. Oh, you can have the whole thing glow. Yeah, don't do that. This just chooses... Yeah. We'll play with that. I'll get into that in the last tutorial. But you guys get the basic ideas to make a face mask. I mean, you could put round on here. You can edit it some more. Again, try not to use textures. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff that everyone else says. I really don't want to say that. I hate that. But yeah, you get the basic idea how to get it, you know, how to make normal maps and what they are. Yeah, that should pretty much do it. See what it looks like without the normal. Yeah, big difference. The normals really do make all the difference. All right, well, take care, guys.